Hello, welcome to the Weird Side. This is the second video in a new wave of Tom's TV show reviews. And what I mean by that is that Clark is on the Tom TV show number 7. It was number 70, but it was different to the other reviews because I've been listening lately in the last, I don't know, years or so, but I've been listening and wondering to this Radio 5 Live programme, BBC Radio 5 Live, for anyone that wants to know, called Must Watch. And it's daytime, so they can't swear, they can't say anything inappropriate, and it's for family viewing, listening. And these YouTube channels, 21 YouTube channels, which are mini TV shows, if you will, are family friendly. So I'm trying to avoid reviewing programs that aren't family friendly, and I thought, but that means that all these programs I watch, I can't review, and it looks like I'm only watching one genre of TV. So what we're doing is we're going to back catalogue and backdate some of the programs I want to review, but we're also going to review some programs that are not meant for the family audience, but a program that I've seen that I want to review. Obviously I'm not going to say anything rude or offensive or anything that's off that scale, because that's still not in my remit. Obviously I'm like the BBC, I have my own remit, which is to educate, entertain, and, well, not educate but entertain and make people laugh sometimes. And so today we're reviewing the comedy drama, which we'll get on to the point that it's less of a drama. I can see where the comedy is more than I can see where the drama is, but it's the comedy drama on BBC Two that aired last night at 10 PM. All episodes were available on the BBC iPlayer from 6 AM. There's only 6 episodes. I watched them all yesterday, and it is Spent. Now, Spent was promoted the day before on Sunday on the television programme Sunday Brunch, so it's got the Sunday Brunch seal of approval. And it'll also have the Duff Mason seal of approval. Let's start with a one-word review. Right, the first word to review this programme is, it's fantastic! Brilliant! That's a reference to the Fast Show. Brilliant! I don't know why I closed my eyes when I did that. Who knows? My other question is, why am I always thinking in my head? That's another question for another day. So here's the premise of Spent. Spent is a comedy drama about a woman that is doing modelling. So she's a model. Her career is in the modelling profession, but she gets bankrupt in America and comes back to Britain to try and get back her career. It stars Michelle, and I'm not going to try and pronounce her last name, but if I remember rightly, her previous role was in the Sky Atlantic programme The Baby, if I'm not mistaken. Also stars Jamali Maddox, who is a comedian and panellist on the Sky version of Nevermind the Buzzcocks, which is a revival continuation of the BBC stuff. It also stars a mother that was in Hank Zipzer, which was a CBBC British, I'm going to say, sitcom, which starred Henry Winkler from Happy Days, who wrote Hank Zipzer as an American, but then thought Britain's the best place to film it, and it was, because Hank Zipzer was amazing. I'll probably do that at the back catalogue review, because I watched it when it was airing at the time. So, Spent, it's an interesting one, because it's like, it merges a lot of the things together. It's funny in a good few places, and it's serious when it needs to be. So I think that I haven't got a favourite moment, because I just think the character arc of our main character is the best thing about this show, because it goes from this quirky, happy-go-lucky, thinking that she could get away with not being bankrupt here in the UK, to all changing. I know that the cliffhanger at the end signifies we want a second series, I know that, but it shows that nothing is ever as it seems. And you watch these programmes and you see that oh yeah, I've got this favourite moment here, I've got this favourite moment there, oh I love that moment, oh I love that moment, oh I love that moment, and that shouldn't be how it is. It should be, I love that character, my favourite moment is the whole development of the character, and that's right, because that's how things should work. And I think that there isn't a favourite moment, not because it's awful, bad, terrible, it isn't, it really is good, but I just don't think there's any standout moment, because it's every time our main character, sadly I can't remember her name, I don't think I actually knew her name when I was watching it either, but when we see our standout main character, she's there throughout, and the way that she alters due to the different situations she's put herself into. So when she's in America at the beginning, she's like happy, go-lucky. When she comes to the UK, she then alters her behaviour back to how her behaviour must have been before. And when she goes to restaurants and meet these people, you can see that her attitude has changed. It also highlights a little bit of the modelling industry. I know that this year this is the second, from what I've seen, second UK based programme based around a modelling corporation in the model industry, because I'm going to say fashion. I'll say fashion. Even though the model of fashion. Let's say fashion. The fashion industry, because we have Geek Girl on Netflix, which I will be reviewing. And so this has took it in a more of a darker twist to it. I do think that the elements of when the mother's involved, our main protagonist's mother, I think they work really well, because it shows how easily it is to switch onto the bad side, and her character arc is also really interesting. I do think there's more interesting things to this than what we all previously thought, if that makes sense. So when you think about it and watch the trailer, you thought, oh, it's going to be really light-hearted, there's not going to be much to it. And when you watch it, it's like really complex. And I think that Jamali Maddox, who I haven't previously seen act before, because all I've seen him in is Taskmaster, Nevermind the Buzzcocks, Russell Howard Hour, so all these these like real life things. So I think that Jamali Maddox, if it is the first time he's acted, which probably isn't, but if it is, then I think that he's got another career path. So if he wants to still do comedy and all this, but he can also do acting as a side path, because I think his character was brilliant, fantastic, and helped show that she's hanging around with not the bad crowd, but the sort of left, like you have your friends that don't do the drugs and all this, but then it's Jamali Maddox's people that Jamali Maddox hangs around with is the people that would seem like, well, I think it was the people that were talking about the drugs and selling them off, and I think that it just shows that you don't always judge a person by its cover, a book by its cover, because you don't always know the type of person, but when you get in deep and in depth with the person, you learn more about them, and you learn how it all operates. And I think that this is what Spent does really well. It isn't saying this is everyone in London, this is just her experience, and this isn't the whole model industry, this is her experience. It's like, I know it's semi-autobiographical, I'll say that word properly one day, but it's based on some aspects of Michelle's life, Michelle, who stars and wrote the series. So it is fascinating that you try and pick out the good, the bad and the ugly, and you don't want to say that everything's fine. And I think that's what this show does well. I think the most important scenes, I think, in this is the bits where she's struggling for money. She lives she pops into her own parents' house and sleeps on the beds, and all the bits where she hasn't got a home and she's lying to her friends and lying to her family about her having loads of money. And then when the moment she gets the money, because she's found that she's appeared on a box of something she hasn't been paid for, and she gets all this money, and she lives out lavishly, and she learns things that she didn't know about, because obviously modern slang means other words. And the bit that then her life was really happy for a while, and then gets flipped upside down again, and you see that the emotion on her face, that she's 1 minute happy at this at the traditional Jewish meal, and then next minute her life's been flipped upside down by the fact that you can now, that by one of the debt collectors have bought the American debts over, so she'll have to pay the debts. And it's one of those things that the change in tone works really well, and it's like nothing looks out of place. You don't go, what? Hey, whoa, hey, hang on, no, and you go, and it's like, and you just see as it constantly zooms in on her, and it works really well. I personally think that this is, and still is, a fantastic programme, and I would recommend it. And if I had to review it out of 10, even though you would normally be reading something out of 5, I would give it a 9 out of 10. The reason why I give it a 9 out of 10 because it is one of those things where I haven't got a standout moment. If I had a standout moment, it'd be a 10 out of 10. But because it's mainly, you mainly focus on the character rather than what's actually happening. You just focus on how the character developed over time in these 6 episodes. I just don't think there's a particular moment that stands out in my mind and goes, oh, yes. I know the moment that I really feel like people will talk about for a long time is the bit where she organises a party. The whole party scene, from organising the party, running the party, and all that scenario around it, I think that will stick in people's minds, but I don't know whether or not that'll be anyone's favourite moment of the whole show. Hopefully we get a second series. Thank you guys for listening. Bye!